Welcome to the City Manager's Report. The City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and municipal news. And a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. Your hosts, Emily Mikowski of Oshkosh Media and City Manager Mark Roloff.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on your City Manager's Report, your source for all of the latest and greatest local news right here in Oshkosh, as well as a preview of the upcoming City Council meeting agenda. I'm your host, Emily Mikowski, joined as always by your City Manager, Mark Roloff. So Mark, first of all, welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Great to be here, Emily.
So we're going to go ahead and dive right into our first half of the show today. We'll discuss a few hot topics here in Oshkosh. We'll take a little break and then we'll return with the review of the council meeting agenda for Wednesday, August 10th, 2016. So Mark, first thing that we want to talk about is actually a couple of recaps that we want to do from earlier in the week. Is Neighborhood Night Out, National Night Out, took place last Tuesday, and it was a great night.
Oh my gosh, it was fantastic. There were probably 9 different events going on. I was only able to get to 5 of them, but I think I did better than average.
5 is good.
Just hitting different neighborhoods and getting the character of the different neighborhoods, meeting people. There are a lot of folks I met that I had never met before, and that really is the whole purpose of National Night Out, to get to know your neighbors and have a sense of community. And so city staff were out there, police and fire, the biggest presence, but a lot of our neighborhood planners were out there, and just an opportunity to talk to each other, learn about each other, and use that as a starting point for other things in the future.
Yes, and we had great weather, which was awesome, and like you said, it's just a really positive night for people to kind of get out, get to know their neighbors, get to know their police officers. And one really special part of the night was the River East neighborhood. They had a check presentation. They were awarded the Great Neighborhoods Award by the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation in the city, and they received a check for, I think it was over $55,000 for an upcoming project that they're planning.
Right, they have really organized well, and we have a program, our Great Neighborhoods program, provides grants to the neighborhood associations to do things in their neighborhood that they really feel will help improve the overall look of the neighborhood, and it also gives a little incentive to the neighbors themselves to do some investment on their own properties, which is really the goal of the program, to have people invest and have an interest in preserving their neighborhood. So the whole idea is to give them a grant, and they're still doing fundraising, but it's to redevelop William Waters Plaza, which is immediately across from the public library on Washington Avenue. And these are some wonderful renderings. They even have night shots of it. But the whole idea is we have a little access right away there at State Street in Washington, directly across from the library. And we're looking to add, I believe it's chess tables, so people can go out there and have games and benches and just a place to congregate and have a sense of community.
It reminds me of a mini Opera House Square. It's a great place for people to get together and connect and just hang out with their neighbors. It just goes right along with the whole Great Neighborhoods program, the whole goal of it.
And our public library, they've said, hey, we're a member of the River East neighborhood, so we're in on this too. The library's looking to take some of their programs outside to reach out to the public and just have more fun type of events. And you gotta just love the whole collective atmosphere that everybody is putting into this, and I'm really excited about what that means. And that's just one example. There are so many other neighborhood associations that have already done things like this. Millers Bay, Menominee South, Stevens Park, and I just reeled off a few. And we're working on a couple neighborhoods to get their association started. West Fifth Avenue, they had a great turnout and are looking to perhaps create their own neighborhood association. So I always use this as a commercial. If you're interested in a neighborhood association, please call our planning office and they'll help you work through the whole thing. It's very easy, just a little commitment of time and getting your neighbors together.
Yes, and it's just another reason to form a neighborhood association. I know we've talked about this before, is that you have access to all of these awesome opportunities, like what the the River East neighborhood just was presented with. So very cool. Great recap of National Night Out. We always look forward to that, and we're already excited for next year. Also on Tuesday afternoon, another big event, I guess you could say, was the unveiling of the new welcome signs. Now, if you haven't seen the new welcome signs, then you got to get out and start driving around and take a look at them, because they are out and they're beautiful.
Oh, they are wonderful. First things first, these were donated to the city by the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation. That's a
big detail to
a negative comment that was out there, but not only did the Community Foundation make the donations, but they're also setting up a fund to maintain these. Our Parks Department, a little bit of in-kind from our parks and our lighting folks to get it plug-in ready, but the Community Foundation paid for all the costs of these signs. This is the one at South Park in Keller. This is where we did the dedication ceremony. So Bill Wyman, the CEO of the Community Foundation, along with other members of the Community Foundation board, and then some of our council members. There was Mayor Cummings, Councilmember Herman, Councilmember Pansky, and other staff members that were involved in getting this project off the ground. We got it in a little under the wire to get them out to welcome people for EAA. The idea is to have a welcome sign as you enter the community when you get off of Highway 41. Okay. Got some questions about, why don't you put them right at the city limits? Well, the city limits move a lot, but having them right there when we have visitors, because we know we're in Oshkosh, but residents, hey, this is our welcome mat.
They're at those key entry points. So
every entry point from I-41 is going to have a sign, and that's really what it was all about.
Yes. So right now we've got 4 signs. There's a 5th one planned, I think, along Jackson somewhere that is hopefully in the future. But the unveiling of the sign was really a cool little event, and it was a kind of a special spot too. The Hardee's restaurant was gracious enough to grant us that easement for that sign as well.
Right, that's near a state highway. The state highway DOT doesn't like them near the right-of-way, so Hardee's gave us an easement. We got easements from some other folks. Some are in right-of-way, and the one on Jackson Street is coming, but we just have to get the right location because we got to work out some things with the state. But our new city logo's on it, so that's you'll see over time us transitioning as we replace letterheads and business cards, but it's on our welcome signs right now, and we're very happy with them.
And of course, we have to encourage people to take a look at them at night too, because it's a really cool sight.
The way they've designed it, it reverses it, and it's very much just a bright white color that the city of Oshkosh and the logo is there.
It almost looks like it's glowing.
It's really cool how they were able to take that color sign and transform it into a lit sign at night. So yeah, take a look at it. It really is wonderful.
Yeah, so a lot of great updates for this past week was a busy one in Oshkosh. So we're very excited to give those updates. And we've got kind of a little bit of a negative update to give now. It's dealing with our favorite little bug here in Oshkosh now, recently, the emerald ash borer, the EAB.
We've been talking about this for a couple of years because we know that it's been in the area, but we have not until now gotten a notice that an emerald ash borer was sighted. And unfortunately, when they're finally sighted, that means they are here and they are in trees and going after ash trees. So it's very unfortunate. But you know, if you're looking, these are some of the signs of infestation, and we encourage you to take a look at it. The thinning canopy, the D-shaped holes, new branches low on the trunk that are growing, cracked bark, and woodpeckers, I guess, love going at these trees once they start to show sign of weaknesses. So please call our city forester. If you want more information, please call Bill Sturm is our city forester, 232-5314. There's also the state of Wisconsin, DNR has an emerald ash borer website as well. The bad news is that if the ash borer is on your tree, it's only a matter of time before it goes. It's really sad. There are things you can do to maybe stretch it out, and you can maybe get some tips by looking at this information.
Sure, and of course the usual things: don't move any firewood, don't move it from county to city or county to county, and then just keep an eye on your ash trees. If you start to notice anything, give the forestry department a call and they can help you out. So,
absolutely.
Okay. One exciting update that we have for you guys today is the Oshkosh Media Gov TV, the channel you're currently watching, is now available on ATT Uverse. So we might even have some new viewers on our Uverse channel right now, but it's kind of exciting. We were able to use a recycled piece of equipment to make that connection. So you're now able to watch Gov TV and all of our programs if you have AT&T Uverse cable. All you got to do is go to channel 99, select Oshkosh Media, and it'll take you right to Gov TV. And what's kind of exciting about this is AT&T Uverse customers are able to see more than one community station. So we're going to be available to people in Green Bay and Neenah, in the whole area. So
as
that's
long as
kind
you're
of
in
a
the Green
neat
Bay
thing.
market.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That is neat. And so this will be GovTV as you normally see it. It's live. So if there's a live council meeting, it'll be that. Otherwise, it's our programming that we put in. You'll be able to see this show, reruns of this show. It's going to be real exciting.
Yes, we're very happy about it. So for more information or for details or with any questions, just give us a call or an email from oshkoshmedia.com or .org, excuse me. So now it's that time of the show. We're about halfway through where viewers have the chance to ask their city manager anything they want about things that are going on right here in Oshkosh. It's our question mark segment, so let's go ahead and see what the question is this week. All right, so Mark, the question this week actually came from Twitter, and it is, when are you going to fix Wisconsin Street between New York and Jackson?
That's a little tough, and so I really thought it was a good question, even though Wisconsin Street, it's not between New York and Jackson. It's likely between, if they're referring to Wisconsin, they're probably referring between New York and Murdoch, or they might mean New York Avenue between Wisconsin and Jackson. So I decided, let's put it on and do both questions. Let's answer both questions. First off, anybody who has a question about a project in our capital improvement program, absolutely look up our website. In Public Works Engineering, you'll see the capital improvement program, and you can call it up. And we have it all color coded by year. So let me answer this person's, what we think is their question. Good news, bad news. First off, the good news. If they're referring to New York Avenue, the last phase of New York Avenue, which is actually between Wisconsin all the way to Main Street, is due to be done in 2017. And that's currently in our 5-year CIP, our capital improvement plan. And we are working on updating that for next year. And I'll give you a little insight, a little scoop. It's going to be in there again. So 2017, I'm very confident that council will ultimately approve that.
That is good news.
It is. Oh, and actually, this is going to be a kind of a bellwether event because New York Avenue is a pretty long street, big east-west street on the north side of town. That'll complete all of New York Avenue from the Fox River over by Spellman's all the way to Menominee Park.
Wonderful.
So it's I think it really is.
And New York has long been an area of complaint for people, so it's very exciting that New York is going to be completely done.
Yes, and so next year for that. Now, the bad news, if you meant Wisconsin Avenue North, there are very few streets that we have rated 1 through 3, which are our worst rated streets that are not in our 5-year CIP. Unfortunately, Wisconsin's one of them. It's all a matter of how to tie things in together. There are a lot of streets that need replacement, and I would say that Wisconsin is a good candidate, but that's one of those that don't make it. We don't have unlimited funds, so we can only do what we can do, but it is on our list, which means that it's likely past 5 years, but it's on our radar list to get done. I've received that question before. I know the condition of Wisconsin. The person's absolutely right. Even if that wasn't their question, it's still a valid point that Wisconsin does need to get done north of New York Avenue, but we'll get to it eventually.
Yes, and once again, for those people who do have questions like that about the streets, that tends to be a popular question mark question, is when streets are going to get done. Just visit the city website, ci.oshkosh.wi.us, go to the Public Works Department page and the engineering page, scroll down, and the CIP is right there. It's all color-coded, and you can see when the street that you're wondering about will get done. So that was a great question. If you have a question for the question mark segment on CMR, simply send it to questionmark@ci.oshkosh.wi.us. Send it to us on Twitter or on Facebook, and we'll answer it on the next episode of City Manager's Report. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into the City Council meeting agenda for Wednesday, August 10th. We'll be right back on City Manager's Report.
Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, Community programming on Life TV. Community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9 WOCT. Online at oshkoshmedia.org, YouTube, and Facebook.
It is sad but true that for years, some people have been using storm drains to dispose of their wastes. Storm sewers do not treat or clean up anything passing through them. Everything that enters a storm drainage system is eventually discharged in exactly the same form as it entered. These wastes can kill plants and destroy breeding areas. Never pour or dump anything down any storm drain.
Welcome back to City Manager's Report. Thanks again for joining us. Now we're going to get right into the City Council meeting agenda for Wednesday, August 10th. And first thing that we're going to mention, Mark, is it's a Wednesday meeting. Tell us why.
It's always, the meeting always gets moved to a Wednesday if we have an election day. So election day is Tuesday, August 9th. And the city clerk is a pretty busy person on that day.
Oh, yeah.
And we encourage people to vote. There's primaries. There's not a ton on the ballot, but every election's important because it's your government. There's several positions on the ballot. It's a primary, so you can only vote on one party side or the other, and you have to choose one. So it's very important. So be sure to when you do vote, designate which party you're going to vote on, and then only vote with that party throughout it. You can't split it and vote Democrat one, Republican another, and other parties a third. You have to stick with one. So that's always really important to point out. But but we are going to have election coverage on Tuesday night.
Yes, we do election coverage on GovTV. It's just through our bulletin board. So if you're interested to get down-to-the-minute results, just tune into GovTV on Time Warner or AT&T now, or on our website at oshkoshmedia.org, and we'll give you updates straight from the county's election results website. So definitely tune into GovTV and tune in on Wednesday, the 10th, for the council meeting. So let's get right into the city council meeting agenda, Mark. First item that we want to talk about is item number 5, resolution 16-404, and that's the approval of the developer agreement with AdvoCap for youth build project at 654 Frederick Street. Tell us a little bit about what this project is and maybe a little background.
There are a cool couple things going on with this. First off, first and foremost, it is a redevelopment project to take a blighted area, remove the building from it, which we've already done, and then work with an organization such as AdvoCap to build a brand new house to add to the neighborhood, improve the neighborhood, take something negative, make a positive of it. This is some of the photos of when the building was torn down at 654 Frederick Street.
This is in the Middle Village area?
It is. It's literally about 3 blocks north of City Hall. Okay. And this area, the neighbors have been so engaged, and we're so happy that Middle Village is so active. And now a group, AdvoCap, which does a lot regarding housing and addressing issues of poverty, they are going to build this house with a youth core. So it's a training program for youth that are interested in maybe learning some of the trades, and they'll have professionals who are very skilled in carpentry or whatever the trade may be, and they're going to be working with these youth to actually build the house, and the kids are going to get paid. It's a program for them to learn and get a little money while they do it. So you're going to have kids building this house, and then it's going to be a house that AdvoCap will sell to somebody that meets certain income requirements to basically get somebody of a low income into home ownership. And home ownership is something that is a goal for us in the Middle Village. So we get a lot of value for this program, and we're so appreciative to AdvoCap. They've done these programs in other communities. This is the very first one they will be doing in Oshkosh. So we're very pleased that AdvoCap is willing to partner with us on such a great program.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure the neighborhood is really excited about this too, to be able to take this blighted property and turn it into something brand new and beautiful.
Yeah, you saw the pictures, what it looked like. It was in very rough shape. We try to save the home if we can. This home was beyond saving, so We did have it torn down. That was through another grant that we had gotten. So we're going to be able to turn this around, and AdvoCap's going to make a wonderful addition to our neighborhood over there because of it.
Very cool. Well, we look forward to seeing that house go up over the next few months here. Next item that we want to talk about is some exciting updates with the Oshkosh Public Museum. We've kind of been giving a little bit of an update every episode here on where their new exhibition is going, but this one is to approve the agreement with Split Rock Studios for fabrication and installation of the People of the Waters exhibition for about $612,000. Tell us a little bit about what exactly this item is.
Well, the museum has been looking to replace what they call their permanent exhibition, the one that is there year in, year out. They have traveling exhibits, but this is the basic one that talks about the history of the area and really gives a good grounding for anybody who comes to visit the museum about what it's about. Mm-hmm. People of the Waters is really a tribute to the history of our area, how the water has become so important and has been so important to our history in the past and continues to be to this day. We're very fortunate that the Frederick DeRoe Trust that was created several years ago is the primary funding source for this. But the city of the $612,000 in there, I believe the city's going to be putting in $150,000 to $200,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. So only about a third to a quarter of that project cost is going to be assumed by the city. Wow. Other donations and funds that have been established at the museum will be doing that. So if you're interested, I'm sure Brad Larson would love to talk to you about a donation for it, but it's going to be a wonderful addition and renovation of the museum, and that exhibit's been there. The old water exhibit has been there for a number of years. It's now gone. Mm-hmm. It's all cleaned out, but People of the Waters is wonderful, and we're looking forward to many years of it. Yes. Bringing people, visitors, to take a look at it.
And they have a lot more information about the new exhibit on their website at oshkoshmuseum.org. One of the really cool things that I'm excited to see is that dugout canoe that they've been working on this summer. That will be one of the items on exhibit in there, and just a lot of other really cool things. And of course, like you stated, Mark, they are still accepting donations, so if you're interested in donating, just go to the Oshkosh Public Museum's website or call over at their office, and they would be happy to help you out. Next item we want to talk about, Mark, on the agenda is item number 8 under the consent agenda is approved private water main agreement with Menards and Westtown Shops for Goodwill Development. And this is kind of a two-part or a two-phase thing, or a two-part item on here that we want to talk about. The big one is Goodwill is coming to the west side.
Yes, Goodwill has seen such good business, both in terms of donations as well as people using their facility, that they're going to build a new location, an additional location, as you mentioned. We already have one over at 20th and South Park. This is going to be just off of Westtown Avenue. And so we want to show favoritism to our home improvement stores, but it's literally located between Menards and Lowe's, but just next to Rocky Rococo. So that blank area on the back side of that lot, as you see construction and people ask what is that building, it's going to be a new Goodwill store. Mm-hmm. Part of that is because that parcel is not on a public right-of-way. They don't have direct access to public water, so we needed an agreement reached between Menards and the Westtown Shops, where Rocky Rococo's and those other stores in that strip mall are. They needed to provide a water access to them, and so they've worked out an agreement that's satisfactory to the city, and then they'll have water and they can start building, and in the next few months you're going to see the Goodwill store sprout up from the ground.
Very exciting. So the Goodwill was approved by the Plan Commission last winter, and this item is more just for the water situation going on over
right,
there.
And this was holding it up. Now that this water issue is behind them, they've reached agreement on it. We had to approve it. Now it can proceed.
Very cool. Very exciting. Under pending resolutions, number 17, we want to talk about the resolution 16-416, approve updated tax increment financing, or TIF, policy and application guidelines. And this is a presentation that's going to be taking place.
This is a continuation of a discussion that council's had. You may recall a few weeks ago there was a discussion about the beach building right next door to City Hall, and we were looking to change the policy then. Council wanted a little more time to look at it, which is totally appropriate. We did approve the beach building development agreement to get that going, but the council had to make some amendments or some waivers to our existing policy. We want to explain to council some of the changes that have taken place in how TIFs are done. ever since the recession of 2008, local governments have been a lot more careful about tax increment financing because we assumed a lot of risk. And what we're proposing are some changes into what are called pay-as-you-go financing. And the idea is that the developer has to assume more risk if they want the reward of TIF financing. And so our consultants from Ehlers Associates who analyze some of our TIF projects are going to explain what some of the changes have been in TIF law and really more TIF practices, because we're trying to protect the city a little more, because in the past we put a lot of money out and it was very risky about when we would get that back. This way we only give out as much as comes back to us in the first place, so our risk is lowered greatly. So is there anything that should be done because the developer is assuming more of that risk? And so that's a discussion that the council will have, and Ehlers will try to answer all the questions before council takes any action on this.
Well, that's great. Sounds like a lot of really good information and very educational for people who might not know a lot about TIF districts. Mark, last item that we want to talk about under your announcements for the meeting is the closure of Oshkosh Avenue at Westfield Street. And this is going to be kind of a little bit of a headache. It's
going to be an inconvenience. All I'll tell people is remember back in 2012 when the entire roadway was closed because of the construction of the overpass. That was a lot worse than anything we're talking about here. But the real difficulty is that if you're not paying too much attention and you go through all 4 roundabouts and then you see that it's closed at Westfield and Oshkosh Ave, you're gonna have to turn around. So you gotta be alert, and please tell your friends, your neighbors. We really want to get this done before school starts, before the university starts, before Oshkosh West starts, because this is a major east-west corridor in the city. So it's going to be closed for about 2 weeks. We think it's going to close around August 11th. Stay tuned to Tuesday's council meeting. You'll probably get the most up-to-date information. And I know, Emily, you make sure our Twitter world and Facebook world get all that information too.
Right, and that's probably the best way to keep up to date. Just follow us on Twitter, check our Facebook, and as we get updates from the Public Works Department, we'll let you know. But like you said, anticipated to start August 11th, could change based on what's going on. And as it begins, we'll be sure to give you updates on anything that might change if there's delays or if it gets done early or anything that goes on with that.
There's an official detour route that will tell you that you should or you can take Keller Road once you get through the eastmost roundabout. My suggestion to people is plan ahead. And during 2012, when the entire interchange was closed, a lot of people used Oakwood if they're coming in from the town of Algoma, or West Haven, or Washburn. I would encourage people to use those options as well, depending on where your final destination is. If your destination is just on the other side of Westfield, of course you want to take the detour route because you'll get there quicker. But if your ultimate destination is someplace on the north side or downtown, you may want to consider some alternate plans. It'll make your life easier in the morning. You don't need stress in the morning.
No, nobody does.
So just keep an eye on everything and you'll be fine.
Definitely. Well, thanks for the update on that, Mark. And that's going to do it for this episode. So I'd like to thank you again for joining us and see you in a couple more weeks.
You bet.
Again, the City Council meeting is this Wednesday, August 10th at 6 p.m. You can watch it live on GovTV and on our new website, oshkoshmedia.org. Or you can listen to it on 101.9 Oshkosh FM, which is also online and on the TuneIn Radio app for mobile devices. Make sure you like our Facebook page, Oshkosh Media, or follow us on Twitter for all of your community and government programming and updates, or check out our YouTube channel for government meeting replays and past episodes of your favorite programs. And don't forget, if you have a question for City Manager Mark Roloff, you can send it to questionmark@ci.oshkosh.wi.us. Tweet it to us on Twitter or send it to us on Facebook, and he'll answer it on the next episode of City Manager's Report. As always, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time on City Manager's Report.